About 2 weeks ago, I took the new carbon-plated Go Faster trail shoe from New Balance, the FuelCell SuperComp Trail, out for its first run. It went really well, the upper really hugged my foot shape, and for a carbon-plated shoe, it still felt like I had good levels of connection and I felt nice and stable underfoot. Although at the time I said the real test will come when we wear them for a longer effort, and that day has come. So I'm going to be grabbing the cameras, lacing these up, and we're bringing you guys out on a long run. Okay, so the plan for today's run is we're just about to go on the Towers. We're going to run across the Towers up to the North Cliffs there to Godrevy Lighthouse. We're going to try and get in around 14 miles, half marathon distance, hopefully, because the day has flown past again and I'm starting a lot later than I wanted to. So it's about 4:45. So I've actually brought a head torch with me just in case. And as you can see, the weather isn't great for filming, so we'll do our best, that's for sure. As we make our way through the run, what we've been doing on a lot of these long run testing shoes is answering all your comments and questions that you've been asking. So we're going to try and answer as many of them as we can on the run today. So let's get on the Towers and let's give this New Balance carbon-plated trail shoe a proper testing.
I'm looking over my shoulder. Past time won't help me getting over it. I don't know what I'm bringing in.
Okay, so the first question to answer, and this is a funny one because it sometimes happens on YouTube. You don't get any comments about anything for ages, and then all of a sudden you get lots in one go. So recently, over the last 2 or 3 weeks, I've been asked about 4 or 5 times, am I going to be testing and reviewing the Brooks Cascadia 17? Now, I've got to be honest, I've tested and run in the shoe in the past, and it's always one of them trail shoes that it's okay, but it doesn't really excite me. Like a lot of Brooks shoes, to be fair, but it's definitely got better over the last couple of models. So because so many of you asked, I will see what I can do and I'll try my best to get hold of a pair. So yeah, hopefully we will be testing out the Cascadia 17. As far as the New Balance shoe goes, we are 3.5 miles into the run. This is my first run in the shoes since the first impressions video. Still feeling good?
Maybe someday when I've grown older, I can see it all clear from above, looking back on it all.
It is proper weird weather out here today, so you can probably tell it's really overcast, real damp air, so hopefully the water on the lens isn't spoiling the footage, but it is super humid, really muggy, and I'm definitely working up a sweat. So the second commonly asked question, and this must be the most asked question by our viewers ever since I tested and reviewed the Agility Peak 5 from Merrell, is which shoe do I prefer? The Xodus Ultra 2 from Saucony or the Agility Peak 5? Now, this is a really tough question to answer because I actually love running in both shoes and they do run very, very similar. I think if I had to choose, there's probably some standout features on the Merrell, but there's also some standout features on the Saucony trail shoe. So firstly, when it comes to the midsole, I would say having that sort of Power Run PB core in the Xodus Ultra, it does give you a little bit more energy return, although both midsoles are very comfortable on all types of terrain. And then when it comes to the Merrell shoe, you have to go for that outsole. It is fantastic. Vibram Mega Grip rubber, super sticky on rocks or wet rocks, but you've also got a nice chunky 5mm lug, so it handles the muddy conditions really well. So I personally probably prefer the outsole on the Merrell shoe, and I probably slightly prefer the performance and feel of the Xodus Ultra 2 midsole. So it really is close with both shoes. And like I say, I enjoyed running in both of them, but I'd say maybe in this time of year, coming into winter, it's going to get wetter, it's going to get muddier. Maybe I would go for the Agility Peak 5.
I'm done trying to fix what is broken, 'cause my time is running out in the set. Ooh, I'm just a human in motion. Yeah, I'm looking ahead, looking out for someone like.
So as the weather deteriorates even more, it's pretty gloomy out here now and getting wetter by the second. Comment number 3 is, what is happening with Transvulcania, which is an incredible race on the island of La Palma, and the UTMB World Series? As far as I can make out from social media, and obviously you have to take everything on social media with a pinch of salt, apparently the local people aren't happy with the changes that have been made to the race since it became part of the UTMB World Series. So I think the stones are going to count for next year, 2024, and then the Transvulcania race is just going to go back to what it was before UTMB got involved. Now I'm sure a lot of people are thinking it's a bold move by Transvulcania pulling away, but having done the race in 2015, it is one of the most spectacular trail races you could ever do. So I really don't think they're going to have a problem, and maybe they don't need the UTMB brand behind them. And you never know, it might start a bit of a procession with some of the other events pulling away. You know, UTMB are going for that monopoly, trying to take over the world when it comes to trail running events. And I actually think it's a good move by Transvulcania, and hopefully we are going to go back one day and I'm going to run the race properly, because when we went out in 2015, I had a nightmare. I made it to the finish, but oh, it was terrible. So I've got to do that race some justice one day. Right, let's get up this hill. We're almost approaching the halfway point. I think that's God Reevy Lighthouse in the background. I can just about make it out. Shoes, so an update on the shoes. So I would say when it comes to the cushioning in the midsole, if you're looking for that super trail shoe, I hate that term, super shoes, but you know, that go faster carbon plated trail shoe, and you want something that's deeply stacked with cushioning, like say the North Face shoes, the Adidas shoes, or Saucony's Endorphin Edge, then maybe the new BALANCE FuelCell SuperComp Trail isn't the shoe for you. You know, that midsole is cushioned, but it's definitely not as deeply cushioned as some of the trail shoes I've run in, which for me is a positive thing, because it allows you to have ground feel and connection, and it's still comfortable to run in. So I've got that comfortable midsole, you've got that plate for performance, but I still feel nice and stable, nice and grounded in the shoe. But let's get to that turning point and let's head home.
Maybe someday when I've grown older, I can see it all clear from above, looking back on it all. Maybe I can see.
Okay, so we have made it to the turning point, and boy is it bleak up here. I can literally not see the sea in front of me. We're actually up at the trig point from God Reevy 10K, one of the summer sessions. So the next comment that I've had quite a lot, especially since coming back from Chamonix, is how much does it cost us to sort of stay in the campsites when we're traveling around France? Now, it really can vary quite a lot. We've stayed at campsites for as little as 18 euros a night, all the way up to 45 euros a night. So the campsite that we actually stay in Chamonix, I'll put the details up on the screen, or I'll leave them in the description below. When we went on the trip this year, it cost us about 28 euros. That was for 2 people, the small van, and we had electric. So you could get it cheaper. I think without electric, it's about 23 euros. It's a fabulous campsite, family run, really nice showers. It's quite small, it's quite compact, and it always gets really busy and you can't book, so it's first come, first served. But the best thing is, We paid 28 euros a night, and you're literally a sort of 5-6 minute walk from the centre of town. So like I say, it can really vary a lot when you're staying in the campsites in France when it comes to the price, but it's getting a bit chilly up here now, so I'm going to hit the trails and head back home. Once we're back in the studio, I'll give you a full breakdown on how the new Balance carbon plated trail shoes have performed out here on this long run.
I'm done trying to fix what is broken. 'Cause my time is running.
So I'm just heading back. I don't know whether you can see it, but the sun has started to poke through the clouds. You've got all the sea mist. It looks incredible. I've never seen anything like it. Amazing. Also, I forgot to mention that we've still got a few of the new colour technical tees available at Run4Adventure.uk. I actually ordered a few more this year for stock because we ran out of the black ones pretty quick. So they're still quite limited on sizes. But yeah, if you want to fly the Run4Adventure flag when you're out there training or racing, then pop along to Run4Adventure.uk and check them out.
But it's a lonely calling. Yeah, it's a lonely calling.
Well, you can safely say it was a good job I decided to take my head torch with me, because it was pretty much pitch black by the time I got home, and maybe I underestimated the pace I'd run that sort of distance across the challenging towns, but we had a great run. The legs felt awesome. Even towards the end of the run, I felt like I had lots of strength and lots of energy left. So thumbs up, looks like I'm heading in the right direction. However, I'm not fully convinced by the performance of the FuelCell SuperComp Trail out there on that long run. So let's start off with the things that I still really like, and it's definitely one of the most connected, stable, carbon plated trail shoes that I've run in, and it doesn't feel like that stiff, rigid plate is sort of throwing you off when you're running on uneven ground. And the fact that it's not oversized when it comes to the cushioning in that midsole, you still feel like you're getting a lot of ground feel. But I'm not convinced I'm feeling that sort of performance aspect of a carbon fibre plate, and to be fair, it doesn't really feel massively different when I compare the midsole of these to the brilliant New Balance Summit Unknown V4. The upper still felt nice and plush, it was a comfortable place to be, and it maintained that over the duration of the run. Like I said on the first impressions, you know, it's a very comfortable upper straight out the box. Although a longer run, a longer effort in a shoe is always going to be a much more thorough test, and there was something I sort of picked up out there today that maybe I didn't notice on that first outing into Hiddy Woods. So as I worked my way through the run and as I started to get fatigued towards the end, it did feel like there was a bit of medial rotation as I put weight through the shoe, and looking down to the point where it looked like I was overpronating, and my gait is pretty neutral. On closer inspection when I got home, I had a good look at the shoe, and it does look like there's a lot of space and a lot of loose material on the instep, to the point where maybe the midsole needs a bit more shape or a bit more support at the arch, or maybe just a bit more structure in the upper there and in the heel of the shoe. So if you did have a bit of overpronation, I think the FuelCell SuperComp Trail would be pretty unstable, especially when you're running them over longer distances. So wrapping up with a quick conclusion after today's long run, and after that first outing into Hiddy Woods, I thought I'd finally found a carbon plated trail running shoe that was gonna work for me. Unfortunately, now I'm not fully convinced. Don't get me wrong, I don't think I'd have any issues running shorter distance in the shoe, say 7 to 10 miles, but I'm not sure I'd want to take them up to sort of 20 miles or above. Having that lack of arch support, that medial collapse, you know, I think it's just going to cause me issues, and my feet were feeling a little bit sore at the end of the run, and I've got lots of trail shoes that don't do that kind of thing, including the New Balance Summit Unknown V4. If I'm honest, I do feel a little bit let down after today's run, especially after really enjoying that first run experience. So I guess my search for a carbon fibre plated trail shoe continues, or is this just another example of the fact that this kind of midsole setup doesn't work in that trail environment? And again, maybe highlights the fact that we don't really need carbon fibre plates in our trail shoes. So that is another long run test done here at the channel. Really hope you enjoyed the video, really hope you found it helpful, and hopefully we got to answer some of the questions that you guys have been asking. Don't forget, if you would like to show your support, then we've got those great Run4Adventure short sleeve technical tees available. 100% recycled fabric, nice breathable mesh panels down the side, and we got some high vis detailing in there as well. And we've also got a giveaway running on our latest massage gun review. So all the details of how to enter are in the video, and I'll leave a link to that video in the description below. You've got until the 1st of November to get yourself entered, so definitely get in the mix, guys. But for now, thanks for watching, thanks for supporting the channel, it's really appreciated. We'll be back here very soon, and as always, stay safe and keep on running.